Recording in progress.
Good morning, Bzuti, Butlem, and Tebogo. I only see 3 members here. Is it so? Honorable
Morning, Chairperson.
Mavila, it's all
It's
myself.
only 3.
Good morning, sir. Yes, it's still only 3 members.
Okay. Mhlonishwa Sikhosana and Bomaviletsa, can you call our colleagues so that we can correct?
Okay, Slalo.
Okay.
Oh, sure. Honorable Noxie, where is Zanen is here? Fine. Where is Mr. Maswali? Noxie, can you hear me?
I'm sorry, Chair. I'm answering you. Yes, I'm not unmuted. Okay. Good morning, Chair.
Molweni, ukuphi Maswali so that we can correct and start the meeting.
Okay, let me call him because I just dropped a message. I was still dropping it for the other comrade as well. But now, let me.
Gutle, how many are we? I
Okay.
see Honorable Sarpen, Zanele, Abraham have joined. Can
6,
you-
Chairperson.
We are 6.
Yes, Chairperson.
Okay. Let's start with the meeting. Thanks, honorable members. Let me officially open the meeting. This meeting has been convened to consider the report on the Pensions Fund Amendment Bill B3 2024. You are all welcome. Welcome, honorable members. Welcome everybody who is in attendance. The SCOF support team, the media present here, including the parliamentary communication team and everybody who's in attendance. Let's move to roll call and apologies. Do we have apologies?
Mr. Manya said he'll only be able to join at 10.
Okay. We have the apology of Honorable Manya. And then Sarpen, where's Dr. George? And you can't hear me. Okay. Let's move to the next item, clause by clause deliberations on consideration and adoption of the committee report on the Pensions Funds Amendment Bill B3 2024. Who's going to lead? Is it Treasury or Advocate Jenkins? Who has the presentation? Can you also flight it here on the screen? Treasury, are you ready? Advocate Jenkins, are you there? Or Charmaine?
Chair, I'm here, but these amendments are really the responsibility of National Treasury, so I'm waiting for them as well, Chair. Thank you.
National Treasury, can you flight the bill? Okay.
Good morning, Chair and members and all participants. My name is Alvina Taylor, Chief Director of Financial Sector Development. I will take you through the A-list chair and members. Unfortunately, the bill is not yet ready. So we have shared the A-list with changes that we'll be making in the bill.
Before Madam Alvina, the bill must be ready by today. Isn't it? We're ATC everything for Wednesday. Is that my own understanding? What are we going to ATC if the bill is not ready?
Okay, I think it might be ready later this afternoon. Normally Zoe can advise on that.
Advocate Jenkins, what do we ATC? Do we only ATC the report, or the report must be accompanied by a full version of the bill?
No, Chair, there needs to be a full version of the bill. I mean, we obviously the committee will first look at a draft bill, but the rules require that there must be a bill before the committee to adopt. So there should be a B version. So we're looking at the A list. These are the amendments that the committee must obviously approve. And then the B version is, of course, that's approved amendments that then go into the bill as it was introduced. But the rules require that the committee has a bill in front of it that it can approve. So if we ATC the report for debate on Tuesday or Wednesday, Chair, then we need to have a bill ready. The bill doesn't have to be ATC, Chair, but the committee needs to approve the bill. And you do that with your report, of course. So the committee needs to have that bill and approve the bill as it is, Chair. Thanks.
So, thanks, Advocate Jenkins. So what do we do now that Madam Alvina said the bill is not here? And we have to adopt the bill today together with the A list.
Well, Chair, I mean, the committee, I mean, as I understand, the committee went through the A list last time, but I'm not sure if all those amendments were approved. There were conflicting or competing, let me not say conflicting, competing meetings for me that day, so I couldn't pay 100% attention to what was going on, and it was my apologies, but it's not something that I can actually change. That is unfortunately just how it is at this time of the year, this time of the elections. So, Chair, what we need is a bill where these amendments are demonstrated to the committee so they know that what they want to approve, Chair. So I think for this meeting, Chair, if the committee adopts the A list as it is, Chair, and the B version can come up somewhere and the committee can have a sight of that, even if it's later today, then, Chair, the committee can approve that bill and report on it. I'm going to quickly look at the rules and just give you the relevant rules so we're 100% sure about my advice, Chair. Thanks.
National Treasury, you say, what's the issue with the bill? Because remember, this is a special meeting to adopt the bill with the A list. So what do we do now? And the report, the programming committee has already scheduled the debate for Wednesday. We have to get the bill today or in the next few minutes. Because if I can adjourn this meeting, to get members back again is going to be very difficult. Now today is Friday. Members had to sacrifice to be here. They're busy with election work and going home. So what do we do? We adjourn and come back at 10 o'clock. Will the bill be ready?
Chair, my hand has been up, Chair.
Noxon.
Yes, Chair, I was going to reflect exactly as you have done, but just to be direct to Treasury to say, what is it that they have at hand? How far off is the bill from being finished? And when can we have it ready? The question basically is, what is it that they have now? And when can they have everything? Because I think if there is a collective working around the clock in the Treasury, we could have a presentation now while somebody else is finishing off the bill, so that by the end of the discussions on the clauses, we have the bill, the draft bill ready. I don't know, Chair, I wanted clarity from Treasury as well. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Honorable Abraham. Treasurer, can you clarify? Because you should have brought the bill here. Can't postpone this meeting.
Yeah, morning, Chair. Morning, honourable members. So I think we obviously need to get this bill complete as soon as possible. I think we need to have a quick discussion internally just to see how long it would take. It would be preferable, obviously, before this meeting is closed, for us to then have that final bill so that you can approve it, so that we can move forward with the procedures that are already, the processes that are already in place. I think we need to have a quick discussion internally. Alvina can go through the A-list amendments that will be within the B bill. So those are the changes that will be there. And then we can hopefully get that final version. I did think that Advocate Jenkins said that it might be fine to approve the A list. And then if the bill comes later, because you have approved the A list, which are the changes, then it might be fine for the bill to be given to the committee later, even though they have approved the A list changes. Would that be possible, Advocate Jenkins?
Let me just get that rule, please. Just give me a moment to get that rule, and then we all look at that. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. Let's proceed with the A list. And amongst yourselves as treasury, talk to whosoever is responsible for that bill. If we finish the A list quite soon, we'll adjourn the meeting and come back probably at 11 and not later than 12. We must adopt the bill today. We can't do a half job because what's going to happen, we're going to be interdicted for not following the process. Treasurer, let's respect parliamentary processes. Somebody or a team of people have been employed by government to be responsible for law drafting. Then you come to parliament with the half-baked work. It's not right what you are doing to parliament. And you know that very well. This is a very critical bill. Then the next thing you come here with the A list, you don't know where the bill is. And it's not for the first time that you come before the committee for us to process bills. We process so many bills with you every year. Why you are doing this today, we don't understand. We hope that is not deliberate. But if it's deliberate, we're going to take a very strong offense. I don't want to call the minister now because I can do so and ask him, why is your team doing things in this manner? And you don't want us to write a report that on Wednesday, we present the report in front of Parliament and in the presence of the Minister of Finance to say, we have a treasury team that came to Parliament not ready with the bill. Because what is going to be adopted on Wednesday is the bill, which after that must be referred to the LCOP and then so on and so on. So please don't do what you're doing now. Let's deal with the report that we have, and then we'll see at the end. But today, we must get the bill before 12 or so that we finish everything. Let's go back to the A list. While another group of you are calling whosoever, whether it's a state attorney or it's a law drafter, whosoever in the legal, that we want that bill here as soon as possible. And we're not going to close this meeting before we get the bill. Then let's proceed with the A list.
Thank you, Chair. I'll share again. Okay. So these are the changes that will be made in the bill that will be heading to the committee. So we have substituted the long title in the bill to include the three other acts, public sector related acts that we are amending. The object is similar to the Pension Funds Act that we are amending. So these three bills are also appended to the PFA bill, so they form part of this bill. The bill,
Okay, wait there. Let's go close by close.
okay,
Go back to yeah. Honorable members, there we are. We have to agree to amend those three. Is it 3 or 4? It's pension
So-
funds.
three, so it's Pension Funds Act, so it's 4. Post and Telecommunications Related Matters Act, the Transnet Pension Fund Act, and the Government Employees Pension Law.
Okay, honorable members, any clarity seeking question? If agree, so indicate that we agree. Agreed. And Honorable Abraham?
Yes, Chair, if she can quickly explain why or how these acts are connected, what they do to afford that we amend them as well as we do the Pension Fund Act.
Okay. Over to you, Treasurer. Can you clarify that question asked by Honorable Abraham?
Okay, thank you, Chair. So if I can go back a little bit, we have the two-part system that is being introduced through the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill, which the committee has already processed. In addition to the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill, which is an Income Tax Act, we need to amend the Pension Funds Act because pension funds are supervised and regulated through the Pension Funds Act. We need to properly cater for the two-part system in that act as well. So the Income Tax Act and the Pension Funds Act go together with any retirement fund related changes. Following that, funds need to amend their rules to effect and implement the two-part system. So we have public sector funds which do not fall under the Pension Funds Act. These public sector funds have their own laws and rules. They would have been able to amend their rules. However, there are certain provisions in their laws which are similar to what we are amending in the Pension Funds Act. So we need to amend their laws for the Post Office, Transnet, GEPF, and Telkom, with similar provisions that we are doing in the Pension Funds Act. For example, for them to be able to effect deductions for divorce, maintenance, and any debt owed to the employer or the fund. Those need to be changed. The definition that we are inserting in the Pension Funds Act need to similarly be inserted in these three acts as well. So it's just minor tweaks that we are doing to the Pension Funds Act that need to be done also in these acts. So we're changing these laws. The funds also will change or amend their rules similar to private sector funds. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, thank you. That's the clarity. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Okay, let me proceed, Chair. So in clause 1, we are inserting the definition of Divorce Act and Income Tax Act. So the bill will just refer to Divorce Act and Income Tax Act without quoting or referencing the year and the act number. Okay, still in clause 1 in the definitions, because we are inserting a definition of Income Tax Act, so definitions that come from the Income Tax Act, which are members' interest in the retirement component, members' interest in the savings component, members' interest in the vested component, will be defined without referencing the act number and the year.
Okay. Honorable members, there you are. Comment and or clarity seeking question? Agree?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Honorable Maswale. Next clause.
Okay. So this is still under the definitions. We are substituting the definition of pension fund organization. We are proposing to insert paragraph D. Paragraph D relates to beneficiary funds. So when it comes to beneficiary funds, deal with the payment of death benefits to beneficiaries, minors. So we are inserting this to cater for maintenance orders, future maintenance orders. Currently, for example, your GPF will pay a lump sum maintenance order into the guardians fund. Then the guardians fund will make monthly payments to the beneficiaries or the guardian of the beneficiary. So currently, beneficiary funds that cater for private sector funds only administer and pay death benefits. So we are expanding their scope to cater for maintenance orders. So if there is a lump sum maintenance order that is deducted from a member's pension benefit, that can be paid into the beneficiary fund, and the beneficiary fund will make monthly allocations to the minor beneficiary or the guardians, the guardian of the beneficiary. Can I stop there, Chair, for any clarity questions?
I should have asked something when we're dealing with those other amendments before. What happens to the political office bearers who have their own dispensation? Because members of legislatures, parliament, and so on have asked me a question whether they will be provided for in this dispensation of a two-pot system. Does it exclude them?
Okay, thank you. So political office bearers pension fund is a licensed and registered fund under the Pension Funds Act. So that fund is properly catered for, and it will have to implement the two-pot system as well.
Okay, thanks. Let's go back to where you were so that we can.
Okay. I was here on allowing beneficiary funds to take in lump sum maintenance orders so that they can allocate those monthly to the guardian or the beneficiary.
Okay, thanks. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay. The next clause is the definition of pension interest. So initially, we had a member's share. We are allowing a fund to allocate a pension interest from a member's share. that reference or term is not in the bill or in the act. So we had to make amendments to refer to terms that are currently used in the act, which is a pension interest should be allocated from a member's individual account. This is in the cases of DC funds, or minimum individual reserve. That's in the case of defined benefit funds.
Okay. There you are, honorable members. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Thanks. Next clause.
So the next clause is the definition of retirement component, savings withdrawal component. The change here is to similarly remove reference to the tax number and year. So the definitions are still the same, but we're just removing the year and the number because we have defined Income Tax Act.
Okay. Which year are you talking about, Madam Alvin? Go back to that clause.
So initially, Chair, it used to say Income Tax Act, Act number, I think 58 or 52 of, then it refers to the year. So we are no longer using or referring to the tax number and the year, because in the beginning here, when you go up, we will say Income Tax Act means Income Tax Act 1962, Act number 58 of 1962. So in all references in the bill, we will not code this long part. We will just say Income Tax Act.
Let me get it clear. I understand when we quote an act at the beginning, we give a full version of the name of the act with the year and in brackets, the number and the year. But as you continue, you make reference to the act. I thought you only make reference to the act and the year. It was promulgated as part of a citation. So why are we removing the year? If we say Income Tax Act and no reference to the year, I understand you can't keep on making reference to the number in brackets and so on. So why are we using this kind of citation? Oh, can you please educate me?
Okay, I will allow the drafters to assist here, but my thinking is that when the Income Tax Act is changed or amended, you don't have to keep on referring to the number as and when it changes. I'm not sure. I think it's a drafting. Maybe Normalizo or Advocate Jenkins can assist.
I don't have a problem with the number, but with the year.
Oh, so it should be Income Tax Act and the year.
Yeah, I'm not saying put the year, but when I look at how citations are done, say for instance, if you're doing it in writing, people refer to a name of the act, tag, but also include the year. Income Tax Act 19 what. But don't keep on referring to putting the number and so on in brackets. I just want to understand that maybe it's this a legal referencing, but if you use it, you make citation in other disciplines, you are expected to put the year. Can we get it right before we proceed so that we are not later accused that Parliament has passed their report which has got a wrong reference to legislations? Advocate Jenkins.
Thank you, Chairperson. Chair, if I'm just checking through the bill, but I'm still looking for that rule. If Income Tax Act is defined in the Act or in the amendment bill, see it's not in, it must be somewhere there because I don't see it in the A list. If it's defined, then we'll usually say Income Tax Act means the Income Tax Act of, I think it's 36 of 63 or whatever it is. Then we don't have to put the citation every time we refer to Income Tax Act. Because it is defined, we know what we're talking about. If it's not defined, then we must keep on putting the full citation of the Act. So it is a drafting matter.
Okay. Okay. If that's the clarity, thanks. Let's go back to the clause.
Okay, thank you, Chair. So we have defined Income Tax Act, hence further references do not give the entire reference to the number and the year.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members.
Okay, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay, we will have a new clause. This is to cater for the contradiction that was highlighted between the Divorce Act and the Pension Funds Act in terms of which act will prevail when it comes to how divorce orders are settled. So the clause is that in the event of a conflict between the provisions of this act and the Divorce Act, the provisions of this act will prevail. The understanding is that the latter act always prevails if there is a contradiction.
Okay. Are we sure, Madam Malvina, that this act will prevail above the Divorce Act? We don't want to pass an act where people who are in the process of divorce stay in court for the whole year, and one partner can withdraw because the manner we have passed the act, the bill has made things much difficult. So we are quite sure of what we're doing here, because remember, this is a very contested clause. Even in the public hearing, it was highly contested.
Yes, Chair, we are advised that having an application or a trumping clause that will assist with that contradiction, and in terms of the general application of the law, the latter law always prevail. Yeah.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay. Clause 3. So here it's a correction. Instead of paragraphs, we'll say paragraph, and we are deleting a reference to N paragraph D, because that paragraph D will be deleted or rejected, as mentioned in item number 4. So this is section 19(5) of the Pension Funds Act, which deals with loans and guarantees that can be provided by the fund. The current act only allows the fund to provide loans and guarantees against the members' pension benefits. So paragraph D was inserting loans provided by the employer. So our view is that we should not extend the scope of loans to be provided by the employer. So that paragraph is being deleted.
Thanks. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed to, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
The next clause, we are inserting reference in 37 cap A to Tax Administration Act 2011, Act number 28 of 2011. So the insertion here is to allow for the revenue services to be able to make deductions to collect outstanding penalties from the fund. Sorry, not from the fund, from the benefit of the member.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, thanks. Next clause.
Okay. Clause 4, we are omitting because we have defined Income Tax Act. So throughout the act where it gives the whole citation of the year and the act number, those parts will be deleted. So it will just, the bill will just say Income Tax Act without referring to the year and the number of that act, because we've defined those in clause 1. There was a concern that referring to requirements prescribed by regulation might make the bill incomplete because there is no understanding currently of what regulations will be prescribed. So we are removing reference to everywhere where the bill says and requirements prescribed by regulation. We will remove those because the conduct authority is empowered to issue conduct standards, and the minister can also issue regulations. Further, the confusion with referring to a savings withdrawal benefit gave implications that we are only permitting deductions from the savings component. That is not the case. So all reference in 37 cap D, where it says savings withdrawal benefit must be applied by the funds when it comes to deductions, that will be removed to cater for the deductions to be proportionally across all components as per the Income Tax Act or the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill. We are inserting the word beneficiary to cater for deductions not only from the member's benefit, but if the member passes on, the deductions can be made from the beneficiary as well. Then we are inserting the words, the date on which the member's employment with a participating employer in a retirement fund is terminated, to cater for deductions when the member's employment ceases, not for the fund or for the deductions to be made when the member leaves the fund. Because a member can resign from employment but not leave the fund, be a preserved member or be a deferred pensioner. So when a member stops being employed with a participating employer, a deduction can be made. The fund does not have to wait for the member to leave the fund for it to be able to make that deduction. Again, we are omitting the words that refer to the number and the year of the Income Tax Act. Further, as mentioned, all the words that refer to as prescribed by regulation and deductions in terms of the savings withdrawal benefit, they are being removed. We are also removing words that refer to an amount not exceeding the amount which in terms of the Income Tax Act may be taken by the member or beneficiary as a lump sum, because again, deductions should not only be made from the benefit that a member gets as a lump sum. Deductions should be made proportionally across all components as per the Income Tax Act or the Revenue Laws Amendment Bill. We are substituting paragraph B cap A with the following paragraph, that a fund should permit a member to take a savings withdrawal benefit where there is a judgment contemplated in the Act in favor of the employer which has not been executed, provided that that withdrawal will not result in there being insufficient funds remaining to pay the loan or guarantee to comply with the judgment. We are replacing this because the clause that came before this one referred to protecting loans provided by the employer in terms of Section 19.5 of the Act. But when you go to Section 19.5 of the Act, there is no provision for the employer to provide loans to their members. So that provision is being deleted, meaning we'll only be left with this protection where there is a judgment against the member. We are also inserting the words written admission of liability. So in addition to the fund having a judgment against the member, they can also have a written admission liability from the member for it to withhold a savings withdrawal benefit. The omission again here is to the Income Tax Act year and number. Again, deletion of the words any requirements prescribed by regulation and reference to the savings withdrawal benefit. Number 13, it's a correction. The words that member or beneficiary is incorrect. It should say the authority, because it is not the member or beneficiary that prescribes conditions. It's the authority. So the Act referred to deductions from the member's interest or the member's individual account. So we cannot say member's interest because we have to refer to a similar defined benefit account for the member, which in terms of the Act is a minimum individual reserve and not member's interest. We are again, page 5, omitting reference to the Act, Income Tax Act number and year, and also removing reference to requirements prescribed by regulation and deductions in terms of the savings withdrawal benefit. Number 17 is a drafting error. Instead of the word of, it should say for. Again, reference to members' interest should be minimum individual reserve. Number 19, removing the text number and year. Number 20, the words members benefit that is payable monthly, annually, or another recurring period, as the case may be, is being removed because that is not how the clause is crafted in the Pension Funds Act. So for the pensioner, if there is an order, a court order for a deduction to be made from the pensioner's benefit. That deduction is made from the capital value of the pensioner's pension after retirement. The court order deduction is not made from the amount that the pensioner receives monthly, annually, or any other recurring period. So the deduction is not made from the pension or the annuity. It's made from the capital value that is used to pay that pension or annuity. We are deleting subclause 1 cap B. It's a repetition of the words that we already have in the Act. Again, the word individual, which is individual reserve, catering for defined benefit, should be minimum individual reserve. So we are inserting the word minimum. So item number 23, we are substituting the following paragraph, that a fund may not, without the consent of the non-member spouse, grant a loan or guarantee or permit a savings withdrawal benefit if the fund has not received a written notification that a divorce order is being instituted or an application has been made in court. So I mentioned earlier, Chair, that we are expanding the definition of pension fund organization to cater for beneficiary funds to be able to administer and pay maintenance orders. So this section refers to that payment of maintenance orders, which can be done in arrears or future orders. So this can either be done as a lump sum or monthly or however is directed by the maintenance order. So the fund will have the discretion of how that is done. If the fund is not able to administer monthly payments, they have the ability to make annual allocations, transfer those to the beneficiary fund, where the beneficiary fund will make monthly payments for the beneficiary or towards the beneficiary's guardian. So instead of item number 26, instead of requiring a court order for maintenance orders, for a savings withdrawal benefit to be suspended if there is a maintenance order pending, we are saying the beneficiary or the guardian's beneficiary can request a formal written notice from the maintenance investigating officer for the fund to withhold or suspend a savings withdrawal if there is a pending maintenance order against the member, of which, if that member were to take a withdrawal benefit, the benefit will be depleted and not be able to cover the maintenance order. So number 27, it's a drafting correction. So it's not the registrar of the court that gives the order to the fund. It should be the non-member spouse. So we are making that correction that the non-member spouse is the one that provides that order or notifies the fund of any divorce order proceedings. Item number 28, we are substituting the words court order with the words deduction. This is for accrual of interest to the non-member spouse. So the accrual of the interest is not from the date of the court order, it's from the date of the deduction. The date of the deduction is the date on which the non-member spouse makes an election of how the benefit should be paid. So lastly, we are again removing reference to the text numbers, the act numbers and the act years. So this is the 37 cap D changes, Chair.
Okay, thanks. Agree, honorable members, to that clause? It's quite a long clause.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Thank you, Chair. The next clauses are the insertion of the amendments to the various public sector laws. So starting with the Post and Telecommunication Related Matters Act. Again, we are defining the Divorce Act. We are defining the Income Tax Act. And in the definitions related to members' interest in the savings component, retirement component, and vested component, we are removing the citation that refers to the act number and the year. So those are as defined in the Income Tax Act. We are defining the non-member spouse, which is as defined in the Pension Funds Act. So the definition that we have in the Post and Telecommunications Related Matters Act is the same definition that we have in the Pension Funds Act. The definitions of retirement component, savings component, and savings withdrawal component, they are as per the Income Tax Act. We are removing reference to the year and the tax number. Okay, let me stop there, Chair, before I go to the next clause. So that was the first clause on definitions.
Okay. So on all these dispensations, GPF, telecommunication, ESCOM, telecom, have we covered all the sectors? Because we don't want the army, the police, or whosoever later and say Parliament has left us behind. You only dealt with certain sectors. All the pension fund laws are covered in this bill.
Yes, so all the private sector pension funds, they are covered in the first part, which is the Pension Funds Act. So included in the Pension Funds Act is the Post and Telecommunications Related Matters Act, which deals with the Post Office Retirement Fund and the Telkom Pension Fund. So Telkom has two funds. Telkom has a fund that is already licensed under the PFA, so that would be covered under the Pension Funds Act. They have another fund, a smaller fund, a defined benefit fund, which is not yet licensed under the Pension Funds Act. So that fund would be covered under the Post and Telecommunications Related Matters Act. And then we have amendments to the Transnet Pension Fund Act. So the Transnet Pension Fund Act covers all Transnet funds. Transnet has 3 funds and 2 sub-funds. So those would be covered under the Transnet Pension Fund. And then lastly, we have the GEP law. So the GEP law would be government employees And with government employees, it's the police, the health sector, so all other employees that work or are employed by the government would be under the government employees pension law. We have covered them. So those are the public sector funds that we have covered. The GEP law also covers, has other two funds, temporary employees and associated pensions, which would be workers in the universities. They are under the GEP law, under the Associated Pension Funds Act. So we have, as much as possible, tried to identify all public sector funds and include them by amending their respective laws as well.
Okay, thanks. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Thanks. Let's move to the next clause.
Okay. Thanks, Chair. So the next clause, so you will see that the clauses are pretty much similar to what we have done under the Pension Funds Amendment Bill. So we are still on the Post and Telecommunication Related Matters Act. So this section deals with withdrawals and deductions from a member's pension benefit. So these are maintenance orders, divorce orders, or what a member owes to the employer. So these are covered here, saying that the deductions should be made proportionally across all components.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
So this deals with pension interest upon divorce or dissolution of marriage. Again, it's about a divorce order that there has to be consent from a non-member spouse for a savings withdrawal to be permitted, provided that that savings withdrawal will not result in there being insufficient funds for the member to honor the divorce order. And again, the divorce order settlement has to be done across all components that the member has.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. What is a former spouse?
If former spouses and ex-spouse. So when you divorce, there is a spouse and ex. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're both exes or, yeah, I'm not sure. But the former is the person that you used to be married to. So that is a former. So with the other laws, they refer to a former spouse. The Pension Funds Act refers to a non-member spouse. So these are the same. A former spouse is a person that you are separating from that should get a share of your pension benefit, similar to a non-member spouse is a person that you are separating or divorcing with, and that person should get a share of the pension benefit in terms of the divorce order.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Okay, then
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Um,
Next clause.
thank you, Chair. Then moving on to the Transnet Pension Fund. So there are definitions that Transnet is proposing to include. So instead of saying a Transnet Pension Fund, they prefer saying a designated retirement fund, because a designated retirement fund, which is also defined, refers to all Transnet fund. So they have a Transnet Pension Fund, Transnet Retirement Fund, Transnet Second Defined Benefit Fund. So with all the public sector laws that we are presenting today, Chair, we have received comments from the relevant funds before finalizing them. And we have also consulted with the relevant departments. For Transnet, it would be the Department of Public Enterprises. And for telecommunications, it would be DCDT, Department of Communications, and Minister Gungubele's long ministry. Can't remember the name now out of my head, but it's DCDT. We have consulted them. I'm sorry, I digressed a bit. So the Transnet Pension Fund, we are inserting the definition of Divorce Act, the definition of Financial Sector Conduct Authority, Income Tax Act, members' interest in the retirement savings and vested component, which are defined in the Income Tax Act. We're also defining a pensioner. And again, inserting the definition of pension interest, which is similar to the definition that we have in the Pension Funds Amendment Bill. Retirement component, savings component, and savings withdrawal benefit. Those are defined in the Income Tax Act. We are inserting them in the Transnet Pension Fund Act. We're defining a subsidiary, and it was defined, it's just minor changes, inserting the correct year of the act that is being referred here, Companies Act. Transnet was defined, it's just a minor amendment of inserting SOC. We're also making changes to the evaluated definition by referring to the Financial Sector Conduct Authority instead of the Register of Pension Funds. And lastly, inserting the definition of vested component as contained in the Income Tax Act.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Thank
Next
you,
clause.
Chair. We are also including the application clause, meaning similar to what we have in the Pension Funds Amendment Bill, that if there is any contradiction between this act, the Transnet Pension Fund Act, with the provisions of the Divorce Act, this Transnet Pension Fund Act will prevail. So that is a new application clause to deal with the contradiction, Chair.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay, that is section 6, where reference is made to Financial Sector Conduct Authority instead of Registrar of Pension Funds.
Okay.
Okay,
Agreed.
then.
You're still proceeding.
Sorry, Chair. So sorry, Chair, that's.
We adopted that clause.
Okay.
Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
The next clause deals with withdrawals and deductions from members' pension benefits. So here again, the Transnet Pension Fund does allow for maintenance, divorce, order settlements from a member's pension benefit. And the member's pension benefit cannot be ceded or attached. It can only be for divorce or maintenance, or if there's a liability towards the member. So this is what this clause is about. And then also stating that similar to the pension funds, if there's a maintenance order, divorce order, or any court order against the member, a member should not be allowed to take a savings withdrawal benefit if that withdrawal will result in there being insufficient funds to pay or to settle the pending order.
Okay. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
The next clause then deals with divorce order settlements from the member's benefit. Also similar to the other orders, that a deduction can be made from the member's benefit to settle a divorce order, further stating when the time frame when the fund can make the order, can make the payment, sorry, and the accrual of interest to the non-member spouse or former spouse. Yeah. Thank you, Chair. That's the clause on the settlement of the payment of divorce orders.
Okay, thanks. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
The next clause deals with the recovery of debts owing to the employer. So these, if a member owes the employer or has defrauded the employer, the fund can make deductions from the member's benefit. So the Transnet Pension Fund Act does allow that compensation to the employer against the member's benefit. There has to be a written admitted liability similar to the Pension Funds Act. There also has to be a judgment obtained against the member. And if there is such an amount owed by the member to the employer, a member would not be allowed a withdrawal if that withdrawal would result in there being insufficient funds to settle the order.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay, so the Transnet Pension Fund Act, the funds under this act allow or have a housing loan scheme to give their members financial support. So this clause deals with that. This is for securing a dwelling, housing. It can be a surety or a guarantee against the member's benefit for the member to be able to acquire a residential immovable property.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay. There's clause 11, cap A allows for the recovery of amounts due by a member of a designated retirement fund. So anywhere where it says designated retirement fund, it refers to all the 3 funds under the Transnet Pension Fund Act. So a fund is able to deduct medical aid, insurance related premiums from the members' benefit. So this should also be included in the rules of the fund. Also is deductions for tax, any tax related issue can be deducted from the members' benefit. Also loans, sureties or guarantees against the members' benefit, those can also be deducted from the members' benefit. Thank you, Chair.
Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Okay, then section 13 is being substituted by appealing sections 7 to 11A. So these are being replaced by the above mentioned clauses. Then section 14 cap A is deeming a pension fund to be a pension fund as defined in the Income Tax Act, and further states that the sections that have been amended, so the changes will apply in the context of a pension fund. So
Agreed,
that is
honorable.
the Transnet Pension Fund Act. Sorry, that was the Transnet Pension Fund Act.
Okay, agreed, members?
Agreed to Chair.
Agreed.
Nox, can you please chair the meeting? I have to attend to people who are having a funeral tomorrow here. There's a home affairs problem and so on and so on. So I have to assist. Please chair, but I'll remain in the platform.
Okay, Chair. Continue, Taylor.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. We are now moving on to the Government Employees Pension Law. So similar to the other public sector laws, the definitions are the same. The Divorce Act, we are inserting a definition of a Divorce Act. The definition of Income Tax Act, where anywhere in the text of the Act, reference is made to Divorce Act or Income Tax Act, there won't be reference to the year and the tax number. The definitions of members' interest in the retirement component, savings component, and vested component are the definitions that are in the Income Tax Act without referring to the year, tax year, and number. Then we are inserting the definition of pension interest, which is similar to the definition that we have throughout all the other acts, to allow for a court order in the case of a divorce divorce order settlement to be allocated across or to be deducted from all components that a member has. The definition of retirement component and savings component, savings withdrawal benefit are definitions as per the Income Tax Act without referring to the tax year or tax number. This law, it's a drafting error that's been corrected there. The vested components definition is similar to what we have in the Income Tax Act. Thanks, Chair. So that's the first clause on definitions.
Okay, members. Good. Agreed to, members.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you so much. Continue, Ella.
Thank you, Chair. We are inserting an application clause where we're stating that if there is a contradiction between the GEP law and the Divorce Act, when it comes to divorce order settlements, the GEP law will prevail.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And another
Agreed.
clause.
Okay.
Agreed.
Are we agreed on that clause, members? Thank you.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you so much. Continue, Tan.
Clause 21 on withdrawals and deductions from a member's pension benefits. So this clause does not allow a member's benefit to be ceded or attached unless if it's for divorce orders or maintenance orders.
Mm-hmm.
It further states, similar to the other laws, that in the cases of divorce order or maintenance order or any court order that can be attached in terms of this act, a member would only be permitted to take a savings withdrawal if that withdrawal will not result in there being insufficient funds to settle the order or judgment against that member. A fund can also suspend a member's savings withdrawal.
Honorable members, agreed?
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. Continue, Taylor.
Clause 22 deals with the payment of pension interest upon divorce or dissolution of a marriage. So here the law allows the fund to reduce a member's pension interest by an amount stated in the divorce order. The fund should not, without the consent of the non-member's spouse, grant a loan or permit a savings withdrawal. If that withdrawal, there has to be a written notification from the non-member spouse. If that withdrawal will result in there being insufficient funds to settle the court order. So for the GPF, because it's not a defined contribution fund where there is contributions that grow with interest, we have years of service which will need to be reduced, pensionable years of service which will need to be reduced to settle So that benefit aligned to the reduced years of service will be determined and used to pay the divorce order. And then the Act also states how long the fund has to make payment when it comes to the divorce order. And the former member spouse is given an opportunity to choose how that benefit will be paid. Thank you, Chair. I think that the last clause on divorce order settlements from the GPF.
Members, do we agree?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Chair.
You done, Tella?
Yes, I am, Chair. I've covered all 4 bills.
Okay.
So it's a single, it's a single bill that has 3 other changes with respect to the public sector laws. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you very much, Taylor. What is the way forward, Chair?
And then we need to adopt the A list. Vote for the adoption of the A list.
Okay.
Adopt a list, but from there we must deal with the bill. I see Chris raising a hand. I think the bill is ready now. Over to you, Chris, before we adopt the A list.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members. So we have spoken to the team, and they are busy just finalizing that draft of the bill. They have said that they will have it ready by 11 a.m., which is in half an hour. I don't know if Chair and the committee would be able to have a break for half an hour, and then we could reconvene then, and they can provide us with the bill and it can be voted on. It looks as if from what Advocate Jenkins says in the chat, that you do need the final version of the bill to be adopted. Our team have said it would be ready in 30 minutes.
Okay. We'll adjourn until 11:30. Let's adopt the A list. Anyone to move for the adoption of the A list?
So move, Chair.
Move for the adoption. Second, Honorable Abraham.
I second, Chair.
Honorable Mavileta, second. Any objection or reserve? Okay, agreed. Thanks. Let's adjourn, honorable members, and come back at exactly 11:30. We want a properly drafted bill at that time. Thanks very much. It's unfortunate that we have this kind of incident. We have never had it before. I don't understand why Treasury has lowered the guard this time. It's unacceptable. Somebody will have to explain why do you do this right at the end of the term. So be that as it may, let's adjourn and come back at 11:30. Thanks very much.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. Thank you for your patience, honorable members.
Hello, Bull.
Dada.
Hello.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you, Chairperson.
There is something wrong with it. I was muted. 7 minutes. I struggled to unmute. I'm not sure what's the problem with the link. Okay.
You are on the platform with two units.
But your system was failing to unmute me. I've disconnected the other two. Do you still two gadgets from my side, or is one now?
No.
There's one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't unmute for some reasons. I don't know what's the problem. Okay. Welcome back, colleagues. Let's proceed. Treasurer, are you ready with the bill?
Thank you, Honourable Chair. Yes, we've sent the bill to the committee. I mean, we can go through it.
Now that we have dealt with the A list, Advocate Jenkins, we have to go through every clause of the bill, or what's our approach now?
The approach now, Honourable Chairperson, is clause by clause. So we can read the clause. If no one's objecting to a clause, we go on to the next clause. And once that's done, we take a vote on the bill, Chairperson.
No, okay, thanks. Can you please flight the bill? My cell phone is failing me. What's this now? Let me see. This is the object of the bill.
Yes, Chair.
Okay. That's the object of the bill. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed to Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Yes. Section 1 of the bill with the definitions. Yeah. Excuse me, it ends there, Chair.
Okay. Definitions, honorable members, agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
It says section 2 that introduces the application in cases of contradiction between the Divorce Act and the Pension Funds Act.
Okay. Section 2, honorable members agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next section. Or next clause.
Clause 3 amends section 14 cap B of the Act by introducing paragraph 2B3.
Okay. There we are, honorable members. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Great, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 4 amends section 19.5 of the Pension Funds Act. This is where it deals with loans and guarantees provided by the fund, limiting such loans and guarantees to 65% of the members' benefit. And the second clause that is being deleted is paragraph D of 19.5, where reference was made to loans provided by the employer, and that is not a provision that is in the current Act.
Thanks. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 5 makes amendments to section 37 cap A to allow IT 88 deduction orders by the revenue services for the collection of outstanding penalties, tax penalties.
There we are, honorable members. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Thank you, Chair. 37 cap D is being substituted. This is deductions for loans, court orders for divorce, maintenance, and any liability that the member has against the employer if there's been any fraud.
Okay. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Okay, then moving on to the Post and Telecommunication Related Matters Act. Clause 5 amends section 1 of that act to insert definitions as we have in the Pension Funds Act.
Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed.
Clause 6 inserts the application of this act in cases of contradictions between the Divorce Act and the Post and Telecommunications Related Matters Act.
Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed to, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 7 substitutes section 10 cap D of the Post and Telecommunication Related Matters Act for withdrawals and deductions from members' benefits for maintenance orders and divorce orders.
Thank you. Agreed, honorable members.
Agreed to.
Agreed.
Clause 8 substitutes Section 10 Cap F to allow for the payment of pension interest upon divorce or dissolution of marriages.
Thanks. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 9. We are now on to the Transnet Pension Fund Act. Clause 9 amends Section 1 of the Transnet Pension Fund Act to insert definitions and amend definitions as we have in the Pension Funds Act and other definitions requested by the Transnet funds to be amended.
Agreed, honorable members?
Siyavuma,
Chair.
sir.
Thanks. Next clause.
Clause 10 inserts in the Transnet Pension Fund Act an application clause in cases of a conflict between the Divorce Act and the Transnet Pension Fund Act.
Agreed, honorable members? Do we agree?
Agreed, Chair.
Yes, Calo Siyavuma. Sorry.
Agreed. We have to record.
Okay.
Next clause.
Clause 11 amends Section 6 by substituting Registrar of Pension Funds with Financial Sector Conduct Authority.
Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next.
Clause 12 amends Section 7 of the Act that deals with withdrawals and deductions from a member's pension benefit for maintenance divorce orders and loans issued by the fund.
Thank you. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Clause 13 inserts a new section in the Transnet Pension Fund Act, Section 7 Cap A, for the payment of pension interest upon divorce or dissolution of marriage.
Thank you. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed.
Clause 14 substitutes Section 9 of the Transnet Pension Fund Act to deal with the recovery of debts owing to the employer, which can be payable from the member's benefit on dismissal or retirement or any other circumstances.
Thank you. Agreed, members?
Siyavuma.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 15 inserts Section 10 Cap A into the Transnet Pension Fund Act for housing loan schemes that providing financial support from the designated retirement funds to the members of the Transnet funds.
Thank you. Agreed, honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next.
Clause 17 of the Transnet Pension Fund Act is being amended to state that Section 7 to 11 Cap A will cease to be applicable.
Thank you. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 18 substitutes Section 14 Cap A by deeming a pension fund being a paragraph A pension fund in terms of the Income Tax Act. And it also names sections that should apply in the context of this pension fund.
Okay. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Chair. Sorry.
Agreed. Next clause.
The next clause makes amendments to the government employees pension law, starting from clause 19. Definitions similar to what we have in the Pension Funds Amendment Bill are being inserted in the GEP law.
Agreed. Honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you. Clause 20 also inserts an application clause to the GEP law in cases of a conflict in the provisions of this Act and the Divorce Act.
Thank you. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Clause 21 amends Section 21 of the GEP law that deals with the withdrawal and deductions from a member's pension benefit.
Okay. Agreed. Honorable members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next clause.
Thank you, Chair. Clause 22 substitutes Section 24 Cap A that allows payment of pension benefits upon divorce or dissolution of marriage.
Okay. Agreed, members?
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed, Chair.
Thank you, Chair. The last clause, 23, provides a short title and the commencement for the laws that are being amendment. So this is going to be called the Pension Laws Amendment Act, and it will come into effect on the date determined by the President by proclamation in the Gazette.
Okay.
Thank you.
Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Next, what's next? Is it the report?
Next is the memorandum on the objects of the bill. So
Okay.
the clause by clause and at clause 23.
Agreed, honorable members?
Great,
Agreed,
Chair.
Agreed.
Okay. Thank you, Chair. That's the end of the bill.
Okay, we're done with the bill. What's next? Is it the report?
Once the clause by clause is done, so we should vote on the amended bill.
Yes, on the bill. On the bill. Sorry, I just jumped in. Sorry, Chairperson. On the bill, just the seconder and then approval of the whole bill as it is. Thanks, Chair.
Yeah.
Okay. Do we have the quorum? To
Yes,
vote
we
on
do,
the bill?
Chairperson. Yes, we do.
Okay, Bushra. Can a member move for the adoption of the bill?
I so move, Chair.
Honorable Abraham moves. Seconder.
I second, Chair.
Chair.
Honorable Omo and Skosani. Second. Any objection? There's no objection. And then, what next? Are we not adopting the report? Because this was
Yes, now we proceed to look at the report, sir.
Can you fly the report on the section on recommendations? I take it that we have read the report. Dr. Lope, where are you the host for the report?
Yes, Chair, I sent the report to Ms. Sibanya, but I can't seem to be able to share from my side, to share anything from my side. Oh, see there now. Just trying. Yeah.
Mr. Tebuko, what's happening? Where's the report?
I'm trying to share it, Chair.
Okay, there we are. Observations and recommendations. 5.1, agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Let's go to 5.2. 5.2, agreed, members.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.3. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.4. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair. Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.5. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.6. Agreed.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. 5.7.
Agreed, Chair.
Agreed. Can a member move for the adoption of the report?
So moved, Chair.
Honorable Abraham moves for the adoption. Second.
I second, Chair.
Honorable Mavile, second. Any objection? There's no objection. I hope we are done with the bill and the report. Thanks very much, honorable members. Thanks to the SCOP support team, Dr. Sope, Manamela, and others for the report, the legal team for advising us, the secretariat, and everybody who's in the support team. And thanks to Treasury, as much as today you did something unusual, that you come to the committee not prepared as expected. We have to acknowledge that to err is human. Thanks very much. Do we have announcements? I think we are meeting again on Tuesday next week.
Yes, so we're meeting on Tuesday.
Are we processing the private members bill or the legacy report?
It will be the private members bill, and then the legacy report will be on Wednesday.
Okay. Okay, so this report, now that it has been adopted, will be 80 seat, and the debate will be on, is it Wednesday? Noxie?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Okay, thanks very much. Let's adjourn the meeting and meet again on Tuesday next week. Thanks, Badanke and Kosi Realibu.
Relevant, huh?
Thank you, Chair. Thank you, honorable members.